Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to tear down the myths surrounding a massive $115 billion industry. We're looking at the hidden economics of automotive repair shops. For a lot of folks, the idea of opening a garage feels like this surefire path to financial independence. But today, we're going to look at the hard data and see exactly what it takes to actually survive and thrive in this space. Find a space, buy some tools, fix people's cars, and watch the money roll in. You know, that quote perfectly captures the idealized dreams so many people have right before they open their doors. It sounds flawless, doesn't it? Everyone has a car. Cars inevitably break down. People need them fixed. It really feels like a business with guaranteed demand, zero threat from online competition, and absolute job security. I mean, nobody is going to rebuild their own transmission just by watching a tutorial. But as we'll see, that is very much a fantasy. $115 billion. That is the staggering revenue the U.S. automotive repair industry generates every single year. When you see a massive number like that, it's so easy to assume the market is just this gold mine waiting to be tapped. But the crucial context here is that this market is intensely fragmented. There are roughly 162,000 shops operating locally across the country. You aren't going up against some giant monopoly. Nope, you're competing against the guy just 3 blocks down who has a lift, a Facebook page, and is willing to charge $40 less than you for the exact same brake job.
Section 1. The auto repair illusion. Because a garage isn't just one type of business.
Okay, let's dive into this. The very first mistake people make is fundamentally misunderstanding what they're actually buying into. There are 4 completely distinct business models operating under the umbrella of a garage. You've got specialist shops doing high-ticket restorations, quick service oil change chains running on razor-thin margins, and bodywork shops that deal entirely with insurance companies and heavy environmental regulations. For this explainer, we're going to focus on the most common model people attempt to open, the general repair shop. This one relies on high volume, low to medium ticket sizes, and just constant throughput.
Section 2. The true cost of entry. Let's talk capital expenditures.
So you've decided to open a general repair shop. Well, before you even touch a single customer's car, you hit a massive financial brick wall. For just a basic 2-bay shop, a mid-range 2-post lift, and a 4-post lift for alignments, that will easily set you back up to $21,000. And the alignment machine itself, a quality unit, can literally be $40,000. Add in your tire changers, balancers, brake lathes, and professional diagnostics scan tools that require ongoing software subscriptions. Add all of that up, and you are staring down $60,000 to $120,000 in equipment alone. And remember, that's before you've paid a single month of rent or hired a single technician. Which brings us to the hidden burdens of real estate and regulations. You aren't just signing some standard commercial lease here. Landlords know that a garage involves handling oil, coolant, and highly toxic chemicals. So they demand much larger deposits and strict remediation clauses because of environmental liability. Then you've got to secure EPA identification numbers, hazardous waste permits, and specific repair dealer licenses. Just your first-year compliance and insurance alone will cost anywhere between $8,000 and $25,000.
Moving on to Section 3, the revenue engine reality. Labor and parts.
Once those bay doors are finally open, the whole business comes down to 2 main revenue streams. Let's start with labor. An automotive technician is highly skilled. A certified master technician might earn a base salary of, say, $65,000. But look at their fully burdened cost. That includes payroll taxes, workers' comp, health insurance, and paid time off. It runs 25% to 35% higher. That means that same technician actually costs your business $81,000 to $87,000 a year to employ. And you aren't just paying a premium, you're fighting a severe ongoing labor crisis. The industry needs to fill roughly 69,000 new technician positions every single year through 2032, just to keep pace with retirements. The average age of a working tech is rising fast, and trade schools just aren't keeping up. That technician you desperately need to run your shop, that's the exact same tech the national chain down the street is trying to poach from you today. This labor shortage creates a very specific, hard mathematical ceiling for your business. Let's break the math down. A single tech working efficiently produces maybe 6 to 8 billable hours a day. At a market labor rate of roughly $120 an hour, your revenue is strictly capped by the physical hours your staff can work. Multiply that out, and a 2-technician shop is hard capped at around $360,000 to $480,000 in labor revenue annually. You simply can't squeeze more time out of the day. Because your labor revenue is literally capped by the clock, parts become your absolute lifeline. Standard industry practice is to mark up parts between 40 and 100%, which results in a 45 to 55% gross profit margin. This is absolutely crucial to understand. The next time you see a parts markup on a repair bill, it isn't price gouging. It is a structural necessity that pays for those incredibly expensive, fully burdened technicians we just talked about. If you try to compete on parts price, you're going to struggle to even meet payroll.
Section 4. Calculating the actual profit. Stripping down that revenue.
Now, what's really interesting here is when we take these abstract concepts and strip down a very optimistic top-line revenue to its bare bones. $650,000 sounds like a massive success, right? But watch how fast it vanishes. Subtract $174,000 for 2 fully burdened technicians. Take out $68,000 for rent, insurance, and equipment. Another $71,000 goes right out the door to utilities, scan tool software, and supplies. Pay your service advisor $52,000. You're left with an operating profit of $285,000. But wait, the owner needs to be paid a market rate for managing the shop too. Let's call that $75,000. Your actual business profit left over is about $200,000 to $220,000. That's a margin of about 30 to 33%. And the real kicker? Most shops don't even hit this optimistic scenario in their first 3 years. Section 5. 4 predictable failure points. The hidden landmines. So why do so many shops fail to reach even a 30% margin? Well, it's because the business is just completely full of hidden landmarks. There are 4 primary ways a shop bleeds money. Step 1. Comebacks. Those are failed repairs. Step 2. Parts returns and cores, where you're waiting 30 to 60 days for cash credits. Step 3 is the diagnostic trap. And step 4 involves insurance direct repair programs that force shops to accept artificially low labor rates. Let's look a little closer at the most painful ones on this list. Let's talk about comebacks first. If a customer returns because a repair failed, you have to redo that work for free. Just a 7% error rate in a shop doing 1,200 jobs a year, that results in 84 free repairs. At an average job value, that instantly erases $29,400 in revenue. That is pure profit just vanishing into thin air before it ever hits your bank account, all while tying up your strictly capped technician hours. Then you have the diagnostic trap. Modern vehicles are extraordinarily complex rolling computers. A check engine light can mean hundreds of different fault codes, and it requires immense skill and expensive scan tools to actually diagnose it. Yet so many shops waive their $100 to $180 diagnostic fee just to get customers in the door. By doing this, you are effectively training your customers to expect your technicians' most highly skilled intellectual labor entirely for free. It completely destroys profitability at its source. Section 6. Scaling through trust systems. How independent shops actually win. Despite all of these traps, independent shops really do survive. But first, you have to accept a pretty brutal reality. You have national chains spending millions on ads, and they're buying parts 25% cheaper than you ever can. You simply cannot win on price. It is a total race to the bottom. Instead, independent shops must compete entirely on trust. Trust is the actual product you are selling. And how exactly is trust measured today? Well, a shop with 4.7 stars and hundreds of reviews is going to absolutely crush a shop with no digital reputation, regardless of price. Why? Because the average customer cannot visually verify if their brakes were installed perfectly. They don't know what an alternator even looks like. They just have to trust that the shop did the right thing. Building that level of trust takes immense patience, but the payoff is literally the foundation of the entire business. The lifetime value of a loyal customer is between $8,000 and $15,000 over a 10-year relationship. But acquiring that customer, it's a slow, deliberate process. A customer might come in for a basic oil change. If they have a great experience, maybe 18 months later, they finally trust you with a major engine repair. Over 3 years, they start referring their family. You absolutely cannot rush this timeline. Eventually, a really successful single shop is going to hit that revenue ceiling of around $800,000. To grow past that ceiling, you have to systemize. You need a documented process for every single interaction, comprehensive shop management software, and standardized training. Without these strict systems in place, attempting to scale and open a second location will end in absolute disaster. Why? Because you lose the personal, day-to-day operational control that made your first shop work in the first place. So the crucial point we're left with is this final question. Are you building a systemized business or just buying yourself a job? That $115 billion market is very real, and for sure, the cars aren't going to fix themselves, But true wealth in the automotive repair industry doesn't simply go to the person who decides to open a garage. It goes to the person who builds a tight system, protects their margins, retains top-tier technicians, and earns their customers' trust one difficult repair at a time. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this totally changes how you view the real economics operating behind those garage doors.